Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 GMC Sierra 2500 Denali. Yeah, this thing is big, but it's got some luxury finesse to it, so to speak. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We get started in the front and we can see this is big, this is bold, and this is chrome. A couple of things with this. We have the nice LED headlights here. I love just the angular design, just really jagged, lines to the headlights. They just look really, really good. We also have LED fog lights as well with this. Again, we're dealing with a lot of chrome here. So with this being the Denali, we get that option on this. And we do have the front facing camera, which is part of the surround view for this, because you're gonna need it, especially to make sure that this big front end, because sometimes visibility might not be the best. I wish there was something kind of like here, but the fall off is a little tough to kind of judge. So the camera is definitely your best bet when it comes to making sure this guy fits in your garage if you park it forward. The other thing you do have with this is these chrome recovery hooks down there, which are nice. But yeah, overall, this guy, yeah, this hood, it's got a scoop and it looks to be functional. Yeah, so good on your GMC and not giving us false scoops, so to speak. But yeah, so really nice front end. I am really liking this. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have under this big hood. We get under the hood and yeah, I look super tiny because this is super massive. But we have the 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel V8 engine under here. It is cranking out 445 horsepower and 910 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 10-speed Allison automatic and then connected to the GMC 4x4 system. Now, a couple of things with this. I open up the hood and I'm a little confused. So we do have, and I'm gonna need your guys' help because I looked in the manual, I looked on the Monroney, which is like the sticker, the window sticker, and I can't seem to find definitive information. Basically what we have here is, so we talked about that hood and it has that opening. You can see the channeling kind of going there, but there's like a valve there. There's like a plastic cover that you can screw and unscrew off. My only assumption is if you're not going to be going anywhere like off-roading or maybe rain or anything other than ideal weather, I'm assuming that's to take that off and to cool down the turbo, because when you close the hood, it points down straight into the turbo. But we also have the channeling coming through here to the to this area here, and then to the intake itself on this side of things. So I'm wondering if that is the case for this. Not sure. Again, I'm making an assumption because that's what I'm kind of seeing being routed. So internet, let me know. YouTube, let me know what that specifically is. And yeah, hopefully we can figure it out. But other than that though, this thing is massive. It's huge. It is really good though. So what I love about this, even though the F350 had way more torque, this delivers it so much smoother, to the point where the StabiliTrak traction control system, which is one of my favorites. Yes, I know I like traction control system, or I like a traction control system, but it does it really well at making sure the power gets down to the ground. That's the important thing. It's not a power hindering system, which is what I felt in the F350, because that turbo, when it came on, it was literally on and off. But this power delivery is significantly smoother, so the traction control can be a little bit relaxed, in the sense of it doesn't have to shut down the power to avoid you spinning wheels, which is what you really want, especially in a tow rig. You want something more linear to get really the power down, or to kind of get off the line with the big toe that you may have. But this has been really great. This is surprisingly good. It sounds pretty good, not too bad. It's not super loud. But yeah, this has been a really good favorite in this big power segment. Has it been super fun? No, but yeah, the Ford was just, oh boy, here comes the power. But you know what? If you're going to be using it as a tow rig, I would recommend this power delivery a lot more. If you're going to have fun, definitely go with that Ford. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have in these big wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package and we have this nice 20-inch high gloss black wheel. Yeah, we decided this week not to get it dirty, but I wanted to show you guys how nice this black wheel looked. And they are wrapped in the 275/65 Goodyear Wrangler tire. These things are great. Obviously these are the Trail Runner ATs. So these are actually really good on the road. They're fairly quiet, not a lot of fighting at the wheel having to be done. But yeah, and off-road, obviously some light trail stuff won't be an issue for a tire like this. And also the fact that this has the X31 suspension package with those Rancho shocks really made this front end stable. Typically when you're dealing with a more HD or heavy duty or higher than the half-ton trucks, you get that front kind of like bounce because it's a setup that needs to be able to tow sometimes tens of thousands of pounds. So the fact that we were able to have a good dialed in front setup was really nice. The brakes on this, I am getting better at at GM level brakes because the pedal does require a little bit more force. We'll talk about also the pedal in later in the performance section. But yeah, overall I really like this setup. I like the big size, I like the big tire. Everything is just really nice. Let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We take a look at the side and yeah, this officially has the record for me being the longest vehicle I've reviewed at 250.1 inches long. Yeah, this barely fit in my driveway, much less my garage. So just a little note, if you're wanting to get a big truck, make sure it fits in the garage or at least in the driveway, especially if like you have hail in your area like we do. So, and you don't want to mess up a nice truck like this. But we get started in the front and we can see that nice sculpted hood. We do have the headlights design peeking out a little bit. We see a nice little HD to let everyone know, yeah, this guy's a little bit heavier duty than than your standard half-ton truck. We do have the side markers on here, which is really nice touch with that plastic fender over. Usually I'm not a fan of plastic kind of trims like that, but it's very nice done. The texture is really good. We have those big 20-inch wheels with that suspension that really sets off the look to this truck. And these mirrors are great. I do love the dual kind of mirrors that this has. I like the fact that you are able to kick it out, but yeah, we only have two settings, either really in or really out, nothing kind of in between, but it's nice. So we do have some lighting up here as well as in the front overall. And we also have the camera system here, part of that HD surround, to help make sure that you know that you're fitting this guy in the right spot. Big Denali HD badging in here, of course, in chrome handles there, chrome trim. And yeah, we have chrome trim back here. We'll get to these guys soon. And we have the truck bed again with the marker, the side light there, and just a big wheel. So a couple of things with this is, let's go ahead and take a look at the keyless entry. So I'll put the key in my pocket and I'll go ahead and reach for the handle and pull, and it's not going to unlock. So it doesn't have like other vehicles that have the sensor. So you do have to press the button to unlock it. And when you do, we get a deployable side step. We're able to get in and no problem there. Now, I am able to go ahead and do that, push that button there, and it will lock it. Also putting the step up. It's nice if you decide to go off-roading, it kind of gets out of the way, and it's not something that's static and can probably bump on something. So the other thing about that step is it does have a row of LED lights underneath, which actually made it nice. I did grocery shopping at night, and when I came back, I was able to have that step deployed, and it illuminated the driveway to make sure I wasn't stepping on anything, or just make sure that, you know, we have nice light at the bottom. So it is a nice little touch there. So getting back to the keyless entry though, again, we can't do the back, but it does have the button that I am able to go ahead and do that and get my kiddo in there with no problems. Yeah, the little button isn't too bad of a kind of deal breaker, and it's nice that you can push it to lock it as well with that. Now, I want to talk the side step. Now, this one doesn't have the side step like the 1500 did, where you're able to push the button and it kicks it out to the back. And you know what? Honestly, I'm actually liking this, not having that option, because with the previous Sierra that I reviewed, I did complain about there being movement in the side step, because it has to do that kind of shifting to the back motion. Because of that, it had that kind of not being 100% super stable, or at least didn't feel that way. But I like the fact that we don't have it in this, because in return we get stability and we get this step. So it is a nice touch. Again, you are able to manually deploy that step, so you can have one step here, then come here, and then right into the bed, which is nice. You also have it on the other side as well. So if you favor one leg over the other, you do have the option of going either side. So this has been a really good thing for me. I've loved this. And yeah, the fact that you also have it in the back makes it another thing that's really great. Now, let's go ahead and head back there and see what we got. We get to the back and we have what looks like not a very exciting rear, but there's a lot to it. A lot of hidden little gems. A lot of little things you don't realize you really need or actually want till after you have them. And when you don't have them, you're gonna miss them. This is what I mean. A couple of things. That side step, this cutout here is incredible. Like I said, if you favor one leg over the other, not a problem. You can do one or the other side to get into the bed. Makes that entry really, really easy. The other thing that I would say, the only thing I would say really needs work are these taillights. I wish there was a little bit more to it than just, you know, a red kind of plastic on the outside and then the bulb. Really, there's not much design. I wish this were transparent and then have some fun with the design on the inside. Yeah, not too excited about that. But here comes the excitement, is the tailgate. Well, actually, before we get to that, nice black bumper. I'm kind of glad that it's not chrome for, you know, it being Denali. So we have that nice rubber plastic area here for you to make sure you don't slip. The towing capability on this is insane. So we have your tow hookups there. It's just incredible. This thing is massive. This hookup here is insane. And this is how much it can actually tow. I forgot the number, but it's a lot and it's insane. Yeah, you can basically tow virtually any toy you'll really have. But glad that this is an option with this. And again, that's what you get when you're dealing with the HD or the 2500 kind of series to this. But let's get back to the tailgate. So there's a couple of things here. We have the backup camera, which is nice. We have a light back here, which helps out with illuminating the rear. But this is my favorite. So with this split gate, you're able to go ahead and have maybe a laptop or just something that you're wanting to work at a higher level than you would maybe, you know, having the whole tailgate down. So that is a nice touch. So we have that. Then we do have the bigger button, which is going to go ahead and open this to the big tailgate. And we do have the bed liner on here, which is a nice touch to it. We do have LED lighting in here, different tow hookups there, or tie down hookups in the bed. And we do have, speaking about tow, the fifth wheel connection this is ready for it. So just a matter of hooking up in there, and you're able to really get your big rig going behind you. But then we get down to this here, and believe it or not, this is probably the most underrated part of this tailgate. A lot of people are ready to just kind of kick down this bottom part, but this is my favorite because of the fact that it's a small thing, probably less than a foot really, between here and here, but that amount of space makes such a huge difference when you're grabbing something and wanting to really put it into the bed of the truck. This little area gets out of your way. So this amount, and it makes it for really easy loading. Again, such a simple thing, but it makes a big difference. Okay, everyone else's favorite is you push this and you're able to get this step down and easier entry into the bed of the truck. But of course, when you're talking Denali, we want to go even further. And this system has the kicker sound system back here. So you're able to hook up with your USB, an aux connection right in there. And we have also Bluetooth option in here. So you are able to, you know, sit back here, put your feet here, have some jams going out when you're tailgating, or just maybe out and about, maybe off-roading and time to camp. You do have the option of playing this system, playing some tunes right in here. But yeah, this is my favorite. The only thing is, yeah, closing it can be a little cumbersome. It is a little bit on the heavier side, so it's not something you can really do with one finger. So just be aware that it takes a little bit more effort than other tailgates from other trucks. Well, now we take a look at the key fob, and if you push down and hold it, little circle, yeah, we get that big V8. Not roaring that much, but you'll definitely hear it. Let's go ahead and hop in and go for a ride. We get inside of the Sierra, and this thing is just as big as it is outside. It's big inside. It's really nice and comfortable. We have the jet black option for the interior for this model, and let's get started on some things. First, the door is really comfortable. You know, nothing super wow, but nothing really bad that stands out. One thing, we do have the mirrors on the sides. We have the bigger, you know, for towing, the tow mirrors, or the bro mirrors, like some people call them. Now, a couple of things with this is, compared to that F350 we had, I kind of like the mirrors in the F350 a little bit more. So reason why is we can kick this out, we can kick the mirrors out to extend a little bit more, but it's two sections or two settings. It's either in or inward and a little bit more outward. The Ford did have the flexibility of, you know, it was gradual. So it wasn't just kind of one or the other kind of situation. So yeah, visibility is nice. The bottom mirror is really great. Helps you out with making sure that, you know, you don't have anyone really in your blind spot, which is a nice touch. Speaking of nice touches, we get to the seats, and these things are really comfortable. And because we paid a little bit more for the Denali name, you get to have it on the seats, on the headrest. And they are extremely comfortable though, and they look good. They are also heated and cooled, which is a nice touch, especially when we get weird weather where one day is literally 80 degrees and then the next it's literally 40 degrees. So it is good to have both options available. And but yeah, long road trips, no issues with bolsters. Everything was really comfortable. You can really set the seat with a lot of adjustability to find that sweet spot. We get over to the steering wheel, and we have a big GMC Chevy GM SUV type of steering wheel. It's big, it's comfortable. The leather is really premium. There's not much give to the leather though. It's not kind of plush or anything. You can feel the hard part of the steering wheel, you know, the actual steering wheel itself. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing. But the leather itself is a really nice soft touch to it. The buttons in the front are, again, I'm gonna have to complain about it, but the up and down, like on the right side, is not a button. It looks like a button. You have to actually use the wheel. But the left and the right are actual buttons. Yeah, I always say this, but I don't know. It should definitely be the top button and the bottom button. But what makes up for it is the back buttons, where we can raise and lower the volume and go to the next track, which is a nice touch, because then that kind of frees up a little bit more on the front of the steering wheel. Then we get to the gauge cluster, and we still have analog gauges and a somewhat of a V-type shape screen, or just, yeah, data in there in the middle. It's good. It has great information that you need for, you know, when you're towing this big guy. So no complaints there. I can't wait to get the bigger screens on these guys for that late 2022 or late 2022 model, which is, gosh, I forget how many inches of total screen. It was insane, that stat that I read, but yeah, it's a lot of screen, which is good, because that means flexibility. That means we can customize. That means we can tailor this big truck to be how you want it to be, which is always a good thing. So the other thing though is we do have a heads-up display, really clear, really nice layout as well. What I do like about it is its positioning. It feels like it's literally out there, like if you had a kind of like a sign or a paper, or like those old muscle cars that had their like their tachometer out front, kind of on the hood, but it looks that way. It's kind of beyond, which is a nice touch to it, and it's nice and clear, especially you know, when you're against like really harsh lighting. So it's a really nice touch to it. Then we come to the infotainment system, and yes, this is still kind of lacking. We do have a smaller display. Like I said, I can't wait till we get that massive display, because I definitely feel like it's going to work really well with this system. The other thing, kind of why I wish it were a bigger system, is because the camera system in this is really good. It's nice and clear, especially when we're dealing with 250 inches of you know, truck length. It can sometimes be tough to kind of get this guy parked, but that camera system makes it extremely easy. So that's kind of why I'm kind of it's kind of a letdown that this is so small and that camera system is so good. If you had a lackluster camera system, I'd be okay. I wouldn't be complaining so much about this. But the other thing, speaking about the camera, is we don't have a hard button. I wish we had a hard button for the camera system, but unfortunately we don't. So that's something that was kind of confusing, because in the Yukon, we do have a hard button for the camera. It is on the left, which is where we have kind of our drivetrain modes here, and it's kind of a shame, but I guess it is what it is. Coming down here, we do have the radio buttons, which again, that middle black piece there, plastic piece, I wish were the camera button, but yeah, we're kind of limited with that, and yeah, no issues there. I haven't really needed to use that because the steering wheel controls are just so good. We come down here to the AC controls, and yeah, very simple, very straightforward, very easy to use system. We have also your heated and cooled seat options down here. So yeah, very simple, straight to the point, love it. We come down here a little bit more, and we have what I call like our truck buttons. So things that are a little bit more towards trucks kind of thing. So with this being the big diesel engine and a big towing truck, we do have exhaust brake. So we have the option for on, off, and that's it. So we don't have really an auto mode like we kind of did with the Ford F-350. Lane departure, parking assist, drop the tailgate, hazards, traction control, power for the plug, hill descent, and we have the deployable steps button. So yeah, and trailer brake right in there, all your truck buttons there. We have the USB connections, USB-C, USB-A options. We do have the 12-volt adapter, and we have a big standard outlet right in here, which is good. And with that being said, I don't have a cable today because this has wireless Apple CarPlay, and it has wireless charging. Yes, thank you, you nailed it, and it works extremely good. Haven't had any issues connecting. In fact, I've had too many issues connecting. My wife literally, when I was setting up the cameras, I turn on the truck and I go to leave and it connects to her phone. Well, I was still in the driveway and it connected to her phone. So yeah, the range is really good on this. Like I said, maybe a little too good, because I also had the issue where I was following her, she was driving the truck, and it connected to her. I was like, why can't I hear my music? And she's like, I can hear your music. So yeah, it's really good at that. So just be aware, on that list you can change it. You can kind of tell it not to auto connect and that kind of stuff there, which is good. But yeah, it's a really, really good system. We come a little bit lower and we have the cup holders, which are nice. Nice big openings for cups, no issues there. The armrest is nice and big and comfortable. No complaints there. You can open this up and you have a ton of space in there. You also have USB connections, which is good if you're needing to charge a device and just kind of put it away. Yeah, like I said, there's a massive amount of space in here, and an iPad would easily fit in there with no issues. We get to the back and the back seats are big. There is a ton of space back there. No complaints. So I do have my kids' booster seat there. No issues with putting a bigger size kid seat as well. You'll have plenty of space and very easy to put in, especially with that side step. So that side step is going to let you kind of be elevated and be able to kind of buck them in. But if you need to get into the back to make sure that everything is really, really secure, or to load other things up, there's no issues, with plenty of space in the back. Now, let's talk performance. We're dealing with a 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel V8 engine. It is cranking out 445 horsepower and 910 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the Allison 10 speed automatic and then to the 4x4 system from GMC. Now, a couple of things with this before we even get started with kind of that side of things. One kind of performance thing I want to mention are the pedals. Yeah, so the pedals were a little bit weird to get used to at first, but once you do, it's fairly easy. Basically what I'm trying to say is the gas pedal is at a good location, but the brake pedal is actually, so this is the gas and the brake pedal is actually higher up. So when you're taking your foot off the gas, you're needing to really get your foot back and then kind of step on it, because what was happening is I was taking my foot off and I kept hitting the side of the brake. So yeah, they're not even, as you guys can see, which typically you take your foot off and you can just kind of quickly do that. It was like this, so I was needing to really kind of do one of those. Yeah, it took a while to get used to. And again, with GM trucks, I seem to need to put more force in the brakes than I would like Ram or Ford or even Toyota. So yeah, I was needing to, but for some reason this week I was able to get used to it fairly quickly. I guess I've been working out a little bit more from all these GM trucks that my foot has really gotten used to. But yeah, that was a big like, interesting that was set, and there's no way to adjust, so there's no adjustability like you would in other trucks. So just kind of be aware of that when you go to set up your seat, really, because I saw myself needing to, okay, let me actually pull my seat back a little bit more, because I need to make sure that my leg has enough space to kind of come back and then at the brake. So yeah, small little detail, but you'd be surprised. Obviously, being able to brake is very important. But once you get on that brake pedal, it's really, really good. It's starting to feel really good. I'm starting to like this pedal feel more than I did the other, trucks that I've driven. And now, having that much torque, though, I can tell you, it's really smooth. Yeah, it's really smooth. And even though that the F-350 had 1,000, a couple, maybe about 100 more than this does, this delivers it a lot smoother. The StabiliTrak system isn't as intrusive as the F350's traction control system was. Now, there's a couple of things to attribute to that. The power delivery of this turbo diesel feels a lot smoother, feels a lot more linear, while the torque numbers or the torque feel of the F350 felt like an on and off switch from that turbo. So I think that has a lot to attribute to how the traction control has to react, because think of it as just switching on 1,000 pound-feet of torque as opposed to easing into 900. And this 10-speed is really good at finding the gear you want to be in. I was really surprised and had no issues hunting. You know, when you're kind of cruising and you want to have, you know, you floor it completely to maybe pass someone, you're not seeing it kind of like, you know, taking a while for it to react. It's actually pretty good at getting to the gear you need it to be. That was the biggest surprise with this Allison 10-speed. And the sound is good. It's not like super wow, but it's not too bad. The steering wheel feel has been great. The dimensions though are a little tough because it is a big truck. My wife was kind of struggling a little bit with not really being able to see, so she really had to like raise her seat up because again, it kind of just goes down, but it's a big box. So visibility was a little bit of an issue for her and for myself as well, compared to maybe some other trucks that have better cues, I would say, towards the end of the dimensions of the hood. Now, who's this for? I would say, yeah, if you're needing to haul, you just need a lot of power to haul just anything, really, almost literally anything. This is what you want. It's got the luxury of, you know, of the Denali name, so you're gonna be nice and comfortable on really long hauls. It's got the power. It really has the power, the towing capability. So there's really no issues there with that side of performance things, and you know, the way that it feels, because it does feel like a great truck. The other thing as well is you do have some drive modes. With this, you really only have normal and off-road. Honestly, I don't know if I would take this off-road because it's just such a massive truck. Sometimes bigger isn't better when you're dealing with, you know, maybe tight spaces. But yeah, we just have the off-road. But if you're gonna go open air, kind of like no trees and that kind of stuff, yeah, you want to take this guy out for some fun. But overall, this has been a really nice drive. I've had a blast just kind of cruising in this, and yeah, putting down 900 pound-feet of torque, over 900 pound-feet of torque. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the GMC Sierra, and remember, find the right gear. See ya.